Disaster relief efforts continue in Scotland County. Raider football rose over Jack Britt 31-8 for their fourth straight victory, and Joey Bennett from the Cole Auditorium will be joining us in studio today for an exclusive interview. That and more all coming your way on your Monday edition of Live at 5. Richmond County's nightly news starts right now. While Richmond County may have survived fairly unscathed by Hurricane Florence, Scotland County suffered with heavy flooding that's still being felt today. Kenny Melvin and Live at 5 went over to Laurinburg to see how recovery efforts are going with the help of a local church. Here's more.
We're at New Hope Baptist Church off Hasty Road, and this is where the Baptist La Mission have their unit set up and where they're feeding people and going out doing their disaster relief work here in Scotland County. Dennis, you want to tell us a little bit about what's happening here?
We set up here, and our main goal here is to get these folks back in their homes. We've got people here that we have trees on their homes. We have people that the entire inside of their homes have been flooded, and the only way they can get back, we have to tear all the drywall out, all the insulation, all carpets, and we have to spray it to clean it, and then we have to come back with a rebuild. This is the largest disaster that North Carolina has ever witnessed. We have 29 relief sites in eastern North Carolina. We've never had over 10, but they've come in and they've stretched us very, very thin. We have so many organizations that are coming in to help us. Organizations are bringing their volunteers, employees here. They're working here. They're giving us monetary donations and just helping us a lot. But we look like we're in here for the long haul, which will be probably 6 months to 2 years. A lot of these folks, just like in Lumberton, have been flooded before, and now they've come back to the same situation again. Your heart just is torn out thinking about what they're going through. They have nothing now to dwell on but what they used to have. We're trying to be compassionate, and we're trying to serve the Lord here, what the Lord wants us to do, and help these folks, because, you know, it's just one of these things where Mother Nature has dealt a double blow to these folks, and we want to help them as much as we can to make this stressful situation just a little bit easier.
If you would like to help out with disaster relief efforts, you can call 910-408-5334. Richmond Raider football hosted SAC foe Jack Britt on Friday night, and the Raider Magic was in full as Brian Till's team took down the Buccaneers 31-8. We spoke with Brian Till after the game. Here's more. Talk about your guys on offense tonight. Seemed like Kelly was passing the ball, spreading it out like he did. Good running game. Did you guys accomplish what you wanted to on that side of the ball?
Well, we had to do that. They were really stacking the box like crazy, bringing really more than we had. And the offensive line had to pick up, and Caleb had to be able to stand in there knowing, hey, there's a chance to get hit because they got one more guy. We got to be able to deliver this quickly. Big adjustment too by our coaching staff to be able to put that ball in his hands, because they blitzed some. They hadn't shown that zero coverage and blitz like they did tonight quite that much. And hats off to them. They took a gamble, but our guys really made it count.
On the other side of the ball, I believe in the first half, you guys held them to only 42 yards of total offense. Not sure what the second half numbers were. And, of course, they got that late touchdown. But talk about your defense, how they played tonight.
Well, really proud of them all year. That first unit, other than the Wake Forest game, hadn't given up a touchdown all year. I mean, other than, I shouldn't say that, Butler, they gave up 19 points to Butler. So they gave up 19 points all year. If we get that anomaly off our psyche with the Wake Forest game, bothers us a little bit. But, proud of those guys, the ability to adjust, and the intelligence by our inside linebackers. Coach Johnson doing a great job preparing those guys, and they're doing a great job adjusting week in and week out when somebody gives us something new. They're able to make sure we're sound, and that's the reason we're not allowing a lot of those big plays and be able to stop guys on defense.
And I know that to start the night, there were also some injuries during the game. And I know Jake was out, starting center. Bobby Terry, I believe, was out as well. Can you give us an update on those guys?
We're thinking they're going to probably be back next week. It's just, we had to run them through some protocol. We just didn't feel good about it. We're always going to err on the side of caution with our kids. We love our kids. And, no game is going to be more important than our kids. And so we said, hey, this is the smartest thing, the best thing for those kids. The next guy, get ready. Big hat off to Skylar Stanridge. Moved from defensive line to backup center this week.
Okay.
Bryson Sanders, who had moved up while Jake was there, gets hurt. And like the first drive of the game, gets poked in the eye, swollen up. Skylar plays probably 60% of snaps tonight, 70% of snaps at center after only working it this week.
All right.
absolutely impressed by that young man.
Homecoming's next week, playing Hope County at home. What do you guys need to do to avoid all the distractions that come around homecoming and everything that comes with it?
We just got to realize it's not about us. It's not. I mean, we're supposed to play selfless. It's about those folks who are coming back. It's about the alumni. It's about those. Our job is the football game. They're going to be here to do all that other. Our job's the football game. We got to focus on that.
Richmond will host Hope County this Friday for homecoming. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m., but just before that will be the homecoming parade, which is scheduled for 4 p.m. When we return, Joey Bennett from the Cole Auditorium will be joining us on the desk. Don't go anywhere. He's coming up right after the break.
Hi, this is Christina with Richmond County Hospice. I'm with Julie and Holly, and we're here to talk about how wonderful Hayden Construction was during our recent pipe bursting and flooding in our building.
In 10 to 15 minutes they were here and they were already starting to work vacuuming up the water, trying to figure out where all the damage was, what all they needed to do.
They were so quick to get on the scene. They were here before I even arrived, and it was just reassuring to have them come in and take control.
We are so thankful that they were here to help us that day.
At Kyocera, we see your company differently. We see your documents, how they're accessed, what it takes to keep them secure, and how well your workflow is flowing.
Kyocera helps your entire document infrastructure run more efficiently, securely, and cost-effectively.
And what we see is an opportunity to integrate all of it.
And we're being joined by Joey Bennett, director of Cole Auditorium, who is here, I'm assuming, to tell us all about the upcoming 2018-2019 DeWitt Series. So,
absolutely,
what can folks expect to see this year at the Cole?
Absolutely, we've got a great season lined up for you this year. We're a little bit later announcing because we're a little bit later starting this year, but we've got a great show to kick off the season this year. We're actually bringing in a finalist from America's Got Talent, a show called Catapult, or a group called Catapult, rather. The show is called Magic Shadows. Many of TV viewers or America's Got Talent viewers may remember them from a couple of seasons ago. They perform almost the entire show behind a screen, and they're a group of, I think, about 10 professionals, and they transform their bodies into all these different shapes and tell stories through shadows.
Really?
So a very interesting shadows and music. A very interesting show, but to get somebody from one of the reality shows was definitely exciting. But this is kind of one of the fan favorites, I think, from a couple of years ago from America's Got Talent. So a very exciting show to kick off our season with.
And when will that actually be kicking off?
That is on Monday, October 29th. And
soon.
It'll start at 7:30. Absolutely, just a couple of weeks.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'm assuming we're getting close to Christmas time at that point.
Yes. Our next show is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the musical.
Okay.
This is a show that has toured all over the country, and I have heard from a lot of people here in town that have been to other places and seen it, and we'll be bringing that show into Cole as well. That's on a Monday night as well, November 26th, and it starts at 7 p.m. rather than our typical 7:30, so that the children can come and still get back in time for bed.
I was going to ask if that was going to be geared towards the whole family kind of show.
Absolutely. We think there'll be a lot of families that want to come, grandparents maybe want to bring their grandchildren, so tickets will be available for that. It'll be a part of the regular series, so if you purchase season tickets, it'll be in those tickets, but you can purchase additional seats as well. But should be a great show. We've heard from people up in their 70s and 80s who are very, very excited about that. That's a show that kind of crosses generations. Everybody almost has to watch every year.
Absolutely. That's a Christmas tradition, if you will. But it's called the 2018-2019 DeWitt Series, so that takes us into next year, correct?
Spreads over into next year. Our first show in January is called The Magic of Motown. This is a Motown review show recreating a lot lot of the different groups and individual singers from Motown. One big band that plays, but then the lead singers change out, the lead groups change out. I think this will be the first time we'll actually have a group that'll be bringing back the Jackson 5 even. So we've had some Motown reviews before, but this has a lot of different acts that are kind of recreated in this. And that's in January.
Okay, and then moving forward towards the end of the season.
Absolutely. We've got our fourth show is a very unique show and kind of one of our main pushes for this year. We're actually bringing back the Columbia City Ballet, and they're doing a show called Beatles the Ballet. So talk about a mix of genres, a mix of different things, but this is a show that Columbia City Ballet has created themselves, and they're actually world premiering just a couple of days before this in Columbia. And then they'll bring it up here, but it's a mix of a lot of the different Beatles tunes in a format that you've never heard them before, obviously. But should be something very interesting for Beatles fans and general music fans, but also for ballet.
That's definitely different.
Yeah, definitely.
And then is there one more show after that?
Two more shows.
Two more shows.
Actually, our fifth show is called Broadway Tonight Live. It's a Broadway review. A lot of the different show tunes from classic Broadway shows up to shows that are on Broadway today. They'll have the performers actually have been in Broadway shows and touring productions and things like that, and then they come together and play with a band for the night of the show. And then our last show is actually kind of a spin-off of a show that we've done before. The show title for this show is called Next Generation Leahy. We brought in a Celtic group back in I think 2009 called Leahy, and this is actually their children that range in age from 9 to 14, and they play fiddle, mandolin, accordion. They do step dancing. They play the fiddle. They play a lot of different instruments and do a lot of different dances. Kind of most people are kind of familiar with the river dance style of dancing. Sure. This is kind of that genre of music, or that genre of dance, I should say, but done by a family group. Incredibly talented. Some of the videos and stuff are unbelievable to watch them perform.
Very cool. Sounds like a tight-knit family.
Absolutely, absolutely. They've toured together for decades probably, and now the children are kind of taking the reins and taking the lead in the show.
Okay. Now you mentioned about how it's a wide array of entertainment this year.
Absolutely.
That's usually something you guys try to go for, isn't it?
We do. We try to provide something for everybody, something that appeals to a broad range of people, and something that appeals to a broad range of audiences. But we're really, really pleased with what we've been able to put together. We think a lot of people really enjoy the shows, be shows that people hopefully walk away from very impressed with and very happy that they got to see right here in Richmond County.
And I'm kind of curious, and others may be as well, how long has the DeWitt Series been going on now?
Since 1999 in some form. We've partnered with the Community Concert Association for a few years, but been going on almost 20 years now.
Still going strong. And
absolutely.
If folks are interested in getting tickets, how can they go about that?
Give us a call at the Cole, 910-410-1691. We can actually assign you tickets now, even if you didn't have tickets before. Season ticket holders that had tickets last year have a couple more days to renew their season tickets. But we've got tickets available for folks that did not have tickets. And the way season tickets are set up, if you're buying 3 or 4 shows, the season tickets are actually a little cheaper. So we encourage people to go ahead and commit and get some perks out of that rather than buying individual shows.
All right. Well, there you have it. Make sure to go out and get your tickets for the 2018-2019 DeWitt Series at Cole Auditorium. Joey Bennett, director there. We really appreciate it, Joey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. When we return to Richmond County, we've got some questions that we wanted to ask you. Our Ask Richmond County segment's coming up right after the break, followed by your weather report. Stay tuned.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
At Richmond County Hospice, we strive to provide high-quality care to our patients and their families. Whether it's the incredible hospitality at Haven House or from the comfort of your own home, you can count on hospice to be there for you. We also offer monthly grief support groups, and our chaplain will be there to hold your hand in prayer. Through our amazing staff and our volunteers, hospice has made difficult times easier for our community. Call the number on your screen if you feel that you or your loved one may benefit from our services. Richmond County Hospice. Peace, comfort, dignity.
This is Matt Harrelson with Live at 5, and as you can see behind me, we are at the Holy Smoke Barbecue and Music Festival for another edition of Ask Richmond County. We're going to go around, ask some folks some serious questions, some silly questions, and have a good time. So let's get right to it. Pronounce this name.
Gyro.
Gyro.
Or gyro. Gyro was my first choice.
Gonna go with gyro. All right, pronounce this word.
Gyro.
Gyro? All right, gyro is what you're going with.
Gyro.
Gyro.
Gyro. Gyro.
Gyro. I don't think anybody's actually gotten it right yet. Second question, since we're at a barbecue festival, vinegar or tomato based?
Vinegar.
Vinegar or tomato based for your barbecue?
Oh, vinegar.
I eat whatever Wiley does.
Actually, that's a good answer. Vinegar or tomato based?
Tomato based.
Vinegar or tomato based?
Tomato based.
Really? That one surprises me a little bit. Favorite?
Well, let's go with vinegar then.
All right, good answer. Play in the field. What's your favorite thing about fall?
Getting to wear jeans and boots.
All right, and as the weather's starting to cool down a little bit. Favorite thing about fall?
Hunting season.
I figured you might say that.
Deer hunting.
All right, we've actually gotten two of those answers. A lot of hunters around here.
Colors.
Okay. Favorite thing about fall?
Holy smoke. Holy smoke. Barbecue and music festival.
All right. Favorite brand of mayonnaise?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Dukes.
Duke.
I'd probably say Dukes.
If there is any other brand other than Duke's, I wouldn't know.
I hate it all.
Oh, you're not a mayonnaise
No.
fan? Oh, okay.
That's a good way to kill me.
I figured you might say Dukes, but that's okay. We'll take that answer. What would your autobiography be called?
The Crazy Days of Sheila Gilmore.
Why is a tennis ball fuzzy?
I don't know, because it's not a racquetball.
And who would win in a fight between Superman and Batman?
Superman, because he really has powers, and Batman wears a suit.
You're on death row. What's your last meal gonna be?
Porterhouse, medium rare.
A1?
No.
Good answer, good answer. What would your autobiography be called?
Autobiography. Well, I got it right here. The King.
The King. Yeah, I think that one works out for him just fine.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
Today's Live at 5 weather report is brought to you by Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts. And as we prepare for Tropical Storm Michael to hit the Gulf Coast and ultimately, as we sit now, reach the Carolinas, we can expect some rain in the meantime. However, starting on the eastern part of the state, as you can see on the map behind me, New Bern having a little bit of sunshine, a high of 84 for tomorrow. Just north of that in Greenville, a high of 83. Same thing for Wilmington, just below. However, everything west of that, starting with Raleigh, a high of 81 there for tomorrow. Precipitation expected, as well as here in the Sand Hills area, high of 82 for Southern Pines, and for here in Rockingham, high of 84 down in Laurinburg, 85 in Lumberton. Heading west towards Charlotte, a high of 79 for there tomorrow, a high of 80 in Greensboro, high of 75 for Hickory. And except for that little sliver of sunshine expected on the very eastern coast of North Carolina, everything else can expect rain for tomorrow, which brings us to the 5-day weather forecast. Here in the Sand Hills area, a 40% chance of precipitation tomorrow for Richmond County, high of 82, low of 71. Moving into Wednesday is when Michael is supposed to creep closer and closer to the Carolinas, an 80% chance of thunderstorms for that day, with a high of 81, a low of 72 Wednesday night. Moving further into the week for Thursday, we should be full-blown on Michael at that point with a 70% chance of rain, high of 80, low of 65. The rain is supposed to continue as we move into the weekend on Friday with a 40% chance of rain that day, high of 70, low of 52. But as we get into the middle of next weekend on Saturday, 0% chance of rain that day, high of 73, low of 52. So as we sit right now, as far as the tropical storm is concerned, it may turn into a hurricane as it hits the panhandle of Florida. Hopefully by the time it reaches here, they're calling for only 2 to 4 inches of rain, which is a lot less than we got from Florence. However, because of Florence, the ground is already saturated. Could become a problem as far as flash flooding, even with that small amount of rain. But looking at the 5-day weather forecast, sunshine is again on the way. And that's going to do it for today's edition of Live at 5. If you haven't already, be sure to download the Richmond Observer app for your iPhone and Android devices. For all the latest news here in Richmond County, visit richmondobserver.com. And be sure to tune in to Good Morning Sand Hills Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. Thanks for watching Live at 5, and have a good night, Richmond County.